Welcome all of my German friends. 15 things Americans don't understand about Germans. Maybe Latvians don't understand about Germans. Something also we're gonna find out in this video. Let's go. And don't forget, you are awesome.
Let's start off with one that I actually don't understand, and that is Germans unnecessarily changing movie and TV titles when they're translated into German. This is a kind of a funky one. Now, Feely from Germany has made a great video about this with really good examples of it, but basically, oftentimes there will be a movie made in the American market that has an English title, right? And then they translate it to the German market, and oftentimes they'll dub the movie. And you'd think they'd change the title to something in German, which that makes sense when they do that. But what is confusing is when they change the English title to another English title that's just weirder. For example, the movie Taken. In English it's called Taken because the girl gets taken. But in German, the movie is called 96 Hours. Why? Sometimes there are translations that make sense because certain words would have double meanings and they don't make sense in the other culture. But there are some examples like that just don't make any sense, and it feels that they are unnecessarily changing titles in a comically goofy, silly way. And I don't understand that. That's one that I don't understand still.
All right, let me know in comment section which is your favorite changed title, if there is so. I know this thing because I watch a lot of Russian translations from American movies, and in Russian they change a lot of titles to Russian, but they change the meaning of it. They change the title and the meaning of the movie changes straight away. I don't know why they do it sometimes. Sometimes I think, why just not translate it as it is, you know, and show it as it is? I have no idea.
This one absolutely shocked me when I first came here, and I actually made a video about this that was one of my first videos to get a lot of views, and that is the 3-path or 3-track school system, where students are separated at like age 11 or 12 into 3 different paths or tracks based on their ability. So you've got the highest track, gymnasium, and these are sort of students who are on pace to go to university. You've got the Realschule, which is sort of the middle track, and then you've got the Hauptschule, which is the lower track. Now, this is something that is quite startling for Americans to hear, that you separate kids at such a young age and basically determine their path in life from that young age. So I was pretty shocked about that at first, but then you learn more about it. There is ability to move in between the tracks, so you're not locked into it permanently, and stuff like this. And so there's also another benefit to it, in my opinion, is that it's, you know, creates and encourages people to go into very important jobs in trades, you know, whether that be carpentry, electrician, plumbing, things that are super valuable and important to society that there's often a shortage of workers for. We certainly deal with this in the United States because
What does he mean by tracks? I didn't quite understand. In Latvia, we have this thing that schools are separated. Yes, we have first through 4 grades, first 4 years. You study in the, I don't know even how to translate it, sākumskola. And then you go to the middle school, yes? And middle school is like from the 5th grade to the 12th grade, yeah? But you can leave the school after the 9th grade and you don't get the full education, full 12 classes. Mandatory in Latvia is 12 classes education, but you can leave after 9 and go work. It depends what you want. Of course, you can leave after 9 and go study to get a professional education. Let's say you get 12 classes plus a profession as a welder, let's say. That's what I did back in the day.
Everyone is encouraged.
Basically to a college. After 9th class, you can go to a college. Not university, but college.
You have to go to university to be successful and have a good life, and now there is a sort of a dilution of the university degrees. Everybody's got a college degree. They've almost become worthless now. And so I find that the 3-path school system does have some benefits, but for Americans first hearing about it, it is a shocking thing and seems pretty harsh.
I wonder how is it in America.
Now this one, The privacy paradox. This one I still struggle to understand a little bit. So it sort of has two components. Nudity. Germans are totally comfortable being nude, not necessarily in public, but yeah,
yes.
kind of in public,
Let's
whether
go.
it's at nude beaches or specifically in the sauna. No problem with just full-fledged nudity, something that in America is a much more private thing.
Yes.
Okay, so you've got this sort of freedom feeling with what Americans deem as a private aspect of your life. You've got that, but then Germans are so protective of their privacy in other aspects of life, such as online stuff. For example, Google Maps.
And also, Germans, as far as I'm concerned, they don't like to open up to the strangers a lot. And correct me if I'm wrong, they don't like a lot of small talk. Yes, but in the same time, they love to be naked in sauna. This is kind of strange polarities,
Maps doesn't have street view here for the most part because people are so concerned about their privacy. So this is what I'm calling the German privacy paradox. Some aspects of life, Germans have no desire for privacy when it comes to like nudity or PDA. But then on the other end of the spectrum, when it comes to online privacy, they have a extreme desire to be incredibly private. So this privacy paradox is something that I think Americans have a hard time wrapping their mind around because it sort of contradicts itself. It's like, are you fully desiring privacy in life or are you not? I'm not going to say I fully don't understand it, but there's parts of it that I don't understand.
Don't tell this dude that there's a huge, big amount of nudist beach, as I heard in Germany. He'll be even more shocked.
This one is interesting to me. It is basically what Germans deem to be cool style cars. Now, in Germany, you will often see people driving cars that have this hatchback look. Okay, it looks like this, the hatchback.
Yeah, hatchback, yeah.
Whereas in the States, those are less common and you'll see more either like SUV types or sedan type cars. The hatchback, in my opinion, and I think a lot of Americans' opinions when I talk to Americans, the hatchback is not cool. It's kind of dorky looking, it's funky looking, it just seems kind of, I don't know, out of...
As a owner of a hatchback, I feel very offended by this person right now because he doesn't know that hatchback is very, very comfortable. It's big. You can fit a lot of things in it. Yeah, it's big. What else you need? It's nice for family. It's good also.
Place and ugly, and I've always thought this when I first came to Germany. I'd see a lot.
He just doesn't understand cars, man.
Of the young guys when they got a job and they started getting paid and they're able to get their own car, they choose to get a car like this weird hatchback looking car. Like no young American guy would ever pick this type of car, but it is so prevalent among Germans, and it's just interesting to me that this is actually looked upon as sort of a cooler style. When I'm walking in the city yesterday and I look in the parking lot and I see just a row of cars and all of them have hatchback backs.
Yes.
And I still,
this is normal. This is in Europe. It's normal. In Latvia, we have a lot of hatchbacks. A lot. Hatchbacks are super popular over here. A lot cars come from Germany, and when they sell, we have this sign, straight from Germany, just brought from Germany, So most of cars here, they come from Belgium, Netherlands, and Germany. A lot of hatchbacks guys here.
I still think they're kind of dorky and not cool looking. Whereas here in Germany, people seem to find them very appealing.
I feel offended. I have an Opel Insignia 2010. By the way, it's a German car. Carl.
A lot of Americans struggle with this, and that is that everything is closed on Sundays. Of course, if you've watched my channel or any American in Germany's channel for a while, you know that this is always a shocking thing for Americans. We are so used to being able to get whatever we want, whenever we want. The convenience of basically 24-hour shopping ability is something that a lot of Americans are used to. So Americans oftentimes have a hard time understanding this things are closed on Sundays culture. But this is something that I actually totally understand.
As a Latvian, I don't understand also this Sunday thing, because on Sundays usually most of shops are open here in Riga, and like a lot of places are closed, but still a lot of shops are open, and you can buy stuff. I wouldn't say you can buy everything you want, but there's a lot of open, yes. And sometimes on Sundays I want to go shop, and like if I would live in Germany or let's say Poland, everything would be closed, because I was in Krakow and there on Sunday everything was closed. Everything.
Now I've come to like, and it has helped me. You've got to schedule your week around everything being closed on Sunday, and then when Sunday comes, it's a day of rest and relaxation. But for a lot of Americans, just don't understand. Fear of debit and credit cards, electronic payments. Germany, for a country so technologically advanced, is quite afraid of paying electronically, and cash payments are very prevalent here. I believe a lot more common here than in most other countries in Europe, and certainly in the United States.
That's interesting.
This one, I sort of understand it, but I also sort of don't. I guess what I do understand is that Germans really value privacy, and electronic card payments are always traceable, whereas cash payments are untraceable transactions. So you get that with paying for cash, but it is oftentimes so inconvenient. And while I have gotten used to it, it is certainly a thing that Americans just don't understand about Germans.
Here in Latvia, we mostly pay by card. I would say we are not bothered about the privacy so much. Maybe we should. Maybe you should tell me why we should be bothered about privacy. Maybe, like, a lot of people, of course, accept a lot of companies accept only cash because the tax system in Latvia, unfortunately, is against the population, and people don't want to pay taxes over here. A lot of companies cannot survive if they're gonna pay taxes, if they're gonna pay their workers, and unfortunately, people have to do it under the rug,
Be so afraid of cards for? Just pull it out, swipe it, good to go. Okay, guys, this one gets me going, and I try so hard to understand it. Physical distance awareness in Germany is just brutal for Americans. It is difficult for us to understand. We are used to a certain level of a personal space bubble, and like I've said in previous videos, nowhere is this more prevalent than in a grocery store, where people will just act as if you don't exist. If you're standing looking at a shelf, 1 foot away from the shelf, people will come and just move in and stand right in front of you, or reach right in front of you without saying excuse me. They'll even physically touch you. It is alarming. It is
that would be very rude, in my opinion.
Shocking. We've got scientists around the world working to figure out what the deal is here, but this is something that most Americans do not understand about Germany, and actually me living here for a long time, I still don't understand it. Gets me going.
Maybe just some people are in their head, and they ignore other people. I don't know. Maybe you can explain me in comment section what this kind of phenomena is.
Feeling uncomfortable with the German flag and flying the flag. Now, Americans love to fly the American flag. You see it everywhere. A lot of people have them in front of their houses. It is made into merchandise like t-shirts and phone cases and stuff, and this is totally common. Whereas in Germany, it is much rarer to see the German flag. You'll see it around World Cup soccer time, but other than that, it is quite infrequent that you see it. So much so to the point where a few weeks ago when Mikey, my brother, saw a German flag being flown, he was startled. He's like, oh, that's the first time I've seen a German flag here. And this makes sense, especially when you think about the history. There is a very cautious approach to sort of German pride. And I would say that Germans are not sort of flag-waving, chest-thumping, proud of their country. Their pride is displayed in different ways, and this is something that I've learned, that Germans are proud.
Football is one of the things that Germans are very proud. When the championship happens, World Football Championship, Germans wake up and they pull out all their flags. I have seen a lot of German fans in with the flags and faces in the flags during the World Cup.
Proud to not be proud, essentially, is a saying that I hear a lot of times about Germans. And they show love and pride for their country with other ways, such as paying into the tax system, which helps benefit people with healthcare and education and stuff like that. This is what I've been told of how Germans show pride. But it is certainly not done with waving the German flag. And this is something that I have come to fully understand about Germany. But for most Americans, it's something you've got to learn. Water is not free, guys. In the States, anytime you go to a restaurant, you can always ask for a water cup, and they'll give you free water, and you can basically get free water anywhere. Whereas in Germany, if you go to a restaurant, you buy a glass of water, it's going to be $3.50. It's going to be oftentimes more expensive than
business.
Getting
Nothing personal.
It's quite frustrating if you're trying to, be healthy and just drink water. It's more expensive. I don't know if I understand this. I guess you can get tap water if you ask specifically, hey, please give me tap water. But if you ask for a water in general, they're going to give you something that you have to pay for. And
Wait. In Latvia, if you ask for water, usually they give you tap water. They say, like in the bars, they say like, do you want some tap water? We can give you. Or the water costs. Like this is how they do here in Latvia. Well, probably in Germany it's the same. Looks like maybe this dude just misinterpreted the situation.
Americans need to be told this. I had to tell my brother this a couple times when we were at restaurants, and he ordered a water, and I had to say, hey, you have to pay for that. And he was like, oh, no, I don't want that then. And so he ordered something else or didn't order a drink. This is something that Americans need to learn and at first do not understand about Germany.
No way, clean bathrooms aren't free.
You have to pay to use the bathroom. Public bathrooms are, for the most part, not free, and you have to pay anywhere from 50 cents to €1 to use them. In America, all public bathrooms are free. I've never seen a bathroom that you have to pay for in the States. I think there would be an outrage if you saw this. And when Americans come to Germany, they are shocked at this fact. But
we come from the land of the free. We are used to getting free toilets and free water, but here in Germany we cannot afford get this for free. We don't like this land.
Plus side is this money is used to pay someone to clean the bathroom. So more often than not, these public bathrooms that you are using are much cleaner and more hygienic and less of a disgusting mess when you walk into them. And whether that's worth 50 cents or €1 to you, you must decide that. For the most
in Latvia also we have the same system as you in Germany, and it's kind of good, but not always you have those 20 or 50 cents on you. You have like €5 and you're like, oh no, what to do? And and it takes only coins, you're like, oh no, what to do? Everybody knows what to do.
50 cents to 75 cents for a clean bathroom that I'm not disgusted by, it's worth it, probably. But certainly something that when they first come here, Americans do not understand about Germans. Americans hate to walk. Germans love to walk. Since I've come to Germany, walking has become one of my favorite activities. I go on walks certainly every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. It is so refreshing. It just clears the mind. It helps me get creative ideas to make videos and all of my creative work. It's good casual exercise. You get to enjoy the nature and scenery around you. I'm a freaking huge fan of walking, but Americans, it's not a walking culture. We're car culture. And so when Americans come over here, they're always surprised at, Germans going on walks for leisure or recreation, but also being willing to walk distances to get to destinations. That's something that Americans have a much smaller threshold of.
Americans come to Germany, they're like, oh no, paid toilets, paid water, and you don't use your cars, you walk. What is this? We need to go back to America. Oh no.
What is an acceptable distance to walk to get to a destination? I see this a lot with my brother. Now that I've been in Germany for a while, I am much more willing to walk to places, whereas my brother is shocked at some of these walking proposals that I make. Let's drive, man.
Okay,
Guys,
okay,
you've
that's
heard me
interesting.
complain about this for years, and I've tried to understand it and tried to see it from a different perspective, and I am not budging. It is so stupid and inconvenient that the traffic lights are put on the near side of the intersection. I hate it. I run into issues with it very often. I find it to be dumb and inconvenient, and I don't think anything is going to change my mind at this point. I've seen all the arguments. You are unable to take in your surroundings. You're up here cranking your neck, either looking straight up or looking off to the side. You're not able to take in the whole surrounding of the intersection. I am standing my ground on this traffic light situation.
Okay.
I don't understand it, and I know my fellow Americans do not understand.
But wait, like, what does he want? Like, there is in Latvia we have traffic light right on the top. We have a far traffic light, especially if you don't want to look left. Yes, on the left upper corner there is far traffic light. You just have to look straight. And there are even sometimes small traffic lights, like children traffic lights, I call them. They're small and they're for drivers, so the drivers don't have to like bend their head all the time. I don't know, maybe in Germany it's different, but maybe I don't know what he wants.
This issue. This is a big one, guys. Every American comments on this when they come to Germany. It's the staring. Germany is a country that loves to stare. Every American that I've talked to that has come to Germany has experienced this in one way or another. I have been in some incredibly uncomfortable situations with people staring, specifically in my first couple years before I got more used to it and I kind of understood it a little bit more. I'm not saying I totally understand it. I still am pretty confused by it oftentimes, but I will say I believe in American culture, staring at somebody is always a hostile act.
Yes.
Especially if you continually stare and you don't look away. This is hey, what's up? You want to do something about this? That's how Americans interpret staring. Whereas in Germany, oftentimes staring is more of a curious stare. It's not a threatening stare. And so that's sort of how I've had to look at it in my mind. And it's become less of an issue for me. Still an issue, still happens. Less for me, but something that Americans, especially when they first come to Germany, do not.
Listen, so this is often thing that in Germany people love to stare, but they stare aggressively, like this. They come to to your face and stare like this, or they're just looking at you. Staring and looking is just different things. I think staring is just kind of in aggressive way, I think, and looking, when somebody is looking at you and you just saw them looking at you and they turn away, that's different things. So I wonder what does he mean by staring? Because if somebody stares here in Latvia, at me, I'm always like, yo, what's happening, bro? Why you stare? And I stare back straight away, and we have the staring duel. And I'm like, okay, I'm not turning away my eyes. I'm gonna stare till the end, till I win. And sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. It is a game of luck.
Not understand. Explicit language in everyday life. Now, we're mostly talking about explicit English language. When I see this on, say, for example, a dad will be wearing a shirt, walking around the park with his family, and the shirt says, something like, don't f*** with me. Or something along these lines, where just the F word is used in the design of the shirt, and it's no big deal. Also, say, for example, at Unicorns Youth Games, we'll be there and somebody will be DJing, kind of creating the vibe of in-between plays and having music played and stuff, just so it's a good environment. And they'll be playing, some Eminem song that is just very, very explicit, and I don't think very appropriate for, 10-year-old kid football game. But there's families all around, and we're playing some song. The DJ's playing some song of early 2000s Eminem that is heavy in the profanity and the explicit content, and it seems to be no big deal. This makes sense. English is a second language here,
Yes.
So the curse words and explicit language don't have as much of an impact on
Yes.
you if it is not your native language.
And some people just don't understand it. Like here we have sometimes the same. People just don't understand these kind of terms that are used in this song, and they don't even think that this is explicit. You know, they just like, oh, this is a word, okay, whatever. But people who are educated, they understand straight away.
I see this often with shirts and clothing where, you know, fuck or shit or something is imprinted on the shirt as part
Seriously.
of the design. And it's, I don't know, it's just kind of weird to me.
That's crazy.
Cigarettes, guys, of course, cigarettes. This is something that every American sort of is shocked by when they come to Germany, is the amount of smoking and where smoking, like you smell cigarette smoke basically all the time. I remember I was actually at dinner with my mom in Berchtesgaden, and we were sitting outside and somebody was smoking next to us. And I had been in Germany for a few years at this point, and I had gotten so used to the cigarette smell and cigarette smoke just being around all the time that it didn't really even faze me. But my mom was like, oh my gosh, I can't, they're like smoking right here and like blowing it basically in our face. And I was like, oh yeah, that is kind of wild. And this is
Yes.
an experience
This is
that
wild.
many Americans have when they come to Germany. Cigarettes just seem to be much more common and prevalent here. Something, I don't know.
Listen, is it allowed to smoke in restaurants in Germany? Because I kind of understand this dude, because one time I was in Serbia, and in Serbia it's still allowed to smoke indoors. In Latvia it's not allowed, but in Serbia it is. And we were sitting in this restaurant, the whole sports team, and there was dude, he had his dinner and he was just smoking, and the whole restaurant felt like cigarettes, man. And my coach was very angry. He was sitting like smelling those cigarettes. He was like, oh god damn, those cigarettes, I hate them. And he couldn't do nothing because it's allowed.
I don't know why. Don't really understand it. All right, guys, so those are 15 things that Americans don't understand about Germans and Germany. I hope you enjoyed the list. If you've got anything else that Americans don't understand about Germans, please feel free to leave them in the comments. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel.
Yeah, so overall, I can tell you that some things I agree with, some things offended me, like the hatchback thing. Come on, man. Hatchbacks are legendary. In Europe, everybody loves hatchbacks. About the smoking, I think in Latvia, if you compare Latvia to Germany with the smoking culture, it's getting less. People are smoking less over here, and the more people are smoking those electric cigarettes. And also, I would love to hear your opinions about the staring part. Is it true that Germans love to stare at other people all the time? Let me know in comment section. And overall, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, click the bell for notification, and suggest your content that you want me to react in the comment section. See you in next reaction videos. Bye.